Hi, welcome back to Action Speaks and our continuation on gifted education. Black America problems start early. Now, today we're going to continue to read the history, a key time hold on just a second, please. Let me get to my spot. We are reading a timeline of key dates in gifted and talented education. And we are reading from the 2 volumes written by Assouline, Gross, Colangelo, authors of A Nation Deceived: How Schools Hold Back America's Brightest Students. So, if you kept up with us on yesterday or the previous history, you will have found my insert of my own history notes included in this history, and I will continue to include some actual history data of my own life as a gifted and talented Black American woman. But today we're going to continue the reading from 1954. The National Association of Gifted Children is founded under the leadership of Ann Isaacs. 1954, and you should remember the title if nothing else. Brown versus the Board of Education ends separate but equal education. And we would have hoped that Black America would be included in the gifted studies, but unbeknownst is they weren't actually actively involved in the studies proving gifted and talented until much later down in the history. And as I've said before, I am a pioneer of making certain that Black Americans are included in the history of gifted education. 1957, 1958, it reads, 1957, the Soviet Union launches Sputnik, sparkling the United States to re-examine its human capital and quality of American schooling, particularly in mathematics and science. As a result, substantial amounts of money pour into identifying the brightest and talented students who would best profit from advanced math, science, and technology programming. Again, very few, if any at all, Black Americans were included in that research and study. 1958, the National Defense Education Act passes. This is the first large-scale effort by the federal government in gifted education. Again, I have not found that many, if any at all, Black Americans were involved in that study. 1964, the Civil Rights Act passes, emphasizing equal opportunities, including those in education. Again, very few Blacks involved in that study. 1972, the Maryland report. Let me reach back. Okay. It goes from 1964 to 1972 in the volumes of the history that's written in the title under the Nation Deceived Research and Study for 2004. But I can emphasize that in 1971 there was a baby born, Black American, little girl who became one of the inclusives of gifted education later on. Not very long after, we would say the parents began to notice her giftedness at a very early age. She was 6 months old. She was born in 1971, September 13th, 1971. At 6 months old, she was actually walking. Just before the 6 months of walking and picking out books on the magazine tray or table, she had already conquered pottying. She actually spoke her first word at 2 months old, believe it or not, but she did. So as we move down the line, you will hear more about that in my book, Past the History, but I wanted to give you that insertion. So you'll be looking for that in my book, Every Child Born Gifted. Let's continue some of the history. 1972, according to Nation Deceived, the Maryland report. The first formal definition is issued encouraging schools to define giftedness broadly, along with academic and intellectual talent. The definition includes leadership ability, visual and performing arts, creative or productive thinking, and psychomotor ability. Note, psychomotor ability is excluded from subsequent revisions of the federal definition. As we read on to 1974, I want to insert more history there, but we will do it again tomorrow at our next taping. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Action speaks. Gloria Keith.